Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Kicking It with Kate. Today we have got Jackie Snarr as our guest. She's a retired physiotherapist and program consultant with Manitoba Health and is a current super grandma. Welcome to the show, Jackie.
Thank you, Kate. It's great to be here.
So you recently celebrated a pretty big birthday.
Yeah.
Birthdays are sometimes a little bit of a taboo topic. I'm not sure why. I'm 45. People seem to want to share their age or hide their age or be younger than they are. I feel as though aging is universal and something that we all go through and something that we should accept so long as we can do so healthily. So you just celebrated your 70th birthday
Yes.
and we are all dying to know, how does it feel to be 70?
It feels great. I think the biggest change is kind of getting used to that number. I have a grandson, Jack, who says, "Grandma, you're 70. Grandma, you're 70." And somehow when I hear it, it's kind of whoa. But other than that, I feel just great, and I just keep going and doing what I normally do.
Yeah, and it's not like anything changes from one decade to the other the instant the calendar flips over.
Yeah.
So it is interesting, the whole it's just a number, but sometimes we do get caught up in it. And in Jack's defense, to him, 70 is a really big number.
Big.
So you, even at the age of 70, have maintained a pretty high level of activity. You're super into your golf that you do on a regular basis in the summertime, and you still curl in a competitive league in the wintertime, as well as all your workouts. Do you feel that that has helped you to age in a healthy way, or have you seen any differences in how your exercises are now compared to, say, maybe 10 or even 20 years ago?
I think definitely kind of being active and being involved with Surefire and with you and helping me kind of design a program and maintain a program has been hugely influential in even with the specific activities. I think having that program, connecting them and being the ongoing thing has been huge throughout my retirement. It's been great.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Obviously, I believe in the power of physical fitness. And it is interesting because it doesn't seem to matter what age a person is coming to me. Everyone is different. So somebody in their 40s might be super mobile and active as opposed to somebody who's in their 30s and is starting from a point that is a little further behind. So everyone, regardless of their age, is kind of coming in with their own set of aches and pains or strengths. So
Yeah.
it's fun to meet a variety of clients at all different ages and kind of help them along in that sense. So you've done some advocacy of late for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, some petitions, some fundraisers. Can you tell us a little bit more about cystic fibrosis and why that cause is so important to you?
Oh, sure, for sure. Cystic fibrosis became more of my life's work because our grandson Jack was born and diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at kind of at 3 or 4 weeks of age. So then that kind of focuses you, and his parents were always very active at a young age and advocating for improved treatments and fundraising for research. So that kind of, then you just kind of work with that and you become more knowledgeable as to what is available for treatments. Certainly with regard to the fundraising, I must really express our appreciation for Surefire and all of the people that I've kind of met through Surefire and being active in that. They have been very, very supportive of our cause, and both for fundraising as well as morally supportive, which has been huge. And when you're doing advocacy, it is a multi-level team that works together, both from a national and a provincial and then a local level. And when Jack was born, just on the horizon was a new treatment called Trikafta, a new drug that was just being introduced as a very valuable treatment for people with a specific genetic mutation. So about 80% of the genetic CF population could benefit from this, which is huge. But there's a huge distance between a drug being developed to it actually being approved within your country and then within your province and then being funded and accessible for the individuals within the province. So, certainly together with Cystic Fibrosis Canada and everybody within the province and nationally, we just kind of worked through a process that kept on advocating with our elected officials, and they were elected officials from all the different parties. And we were very fortunate that we were able to kind of share the stories of people living with cystic fibrosis, what the challenges were, what the benefits of this new drug would be to the lifestyle and of the individuals as well as the whole family members. So, I mean, there's huge benefits. And so, over a period of time, we were able to share our story and work with a situation that became supportive within Manitoba to obtain funding and access for Trikafta for those who are eligible to receive it. So there are some eligibility criteria.
Yep.
And so for the people who are not kind of able to access Trikafta, we still continue to fundraise and advocate for treatments for those people who kind of need other treatments other than Trikafta. So it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, well, huge props to you for being able to connect with government and actually make change. I know throughout the pandemic, I was doing a bit of advocacy on behalf of the fitness industry, and getting the government to connect and hear your story and move in a direction that's helpful is so much work. And so you and your team did a phenomenal job. Can you just explain maybe a little bit, like, with this drug now being available, how Jack's life and those living with CF has improved? So what would his life have been before, and now because of this, what has changed, and how is he benefiting from this?
Okay. Well, Trikafta is a genetic modulator. So with cystic fibrosis, in a very simple term, normally the cell is able to pass kind of electrolytes and things through the cell wall, and with cystic fibrosis, there seems to be one channel that tends to be closed, and then there's stuff on this side and stuff on this side that's not connecting. So what happens with Trikafta as a genetic modulator is, as the cell is being formed in the body, they're able to have it form so that the channel is open. So that means it's a huge benefit in all of the different body kind of organs, because things are moving much better. So previously, people with cystic fibrosis would have very thick mucus in their lungs. They would have same problems with the digestive system. So they might run into bowel obstructions, and they might run into, with the lungs, they would have repeated infections. So certainly this kind of people who have, and they would also have a poor ability to breathe. So they would kind of have a lower lung function. So it wouldn't, for an adult with cystic fibrosis previously, it wouldn't be unusual for them to be on supplementary oxygen or to move towards needing a lung transplant because their lungs had been so damaged by the repeated infections. So what they're finding is, with people who have been taking Trikafta, their lung function has improved to the point where some of them have been taken off of the lung transplant list, which is huge.
Yeah.
And when they retest them, their lung function is much improved. So their ability to breathe and kind of work and have good activities of daily living is huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, so those sorts of things. Jack is very active in hockey. He's still been prone to some colds, but they really feel that because he's been on Trikafta, his ability to kind of work through the colds and his mucus not being so thick has been huge. Yeah, so it's been just it offers people an entirely different life perspective than they have had before, which is what
having trouble breathing means that every single moment of your day is affected. And if this drug can help alleviate those symptoms even just a little bit, then I'm sure that makes a huge difference, along with all the other organs that can be affected with cystic fibrosis. So again, job well done. We're going to shift gears a little bit. I asked this question to everybody. We're curious as to what your favorite exercise is.
I'd say my favorite exercises are possibly, I'd say like the squats.
You've got a few. Excellent.
Like my challenges with injuries have been kind of with my knees and hips. So certainly being with you has been had the ability to move through those and continue to be active and strong, as opposed to maybe hitting a wall and backing off and just, being less active. So so certainly squats, lunges, those sorts of things which maintain my hip and knee strength are important.
Okay, perfect. So the fact that you can still curl and golf is because you've worked so hard to maintain the mobility and strength in those joints. I love it.
With your
More squats, more lunges coming your way, not a problem.
oh,
Do you have a least favorite exercise? That one that you're like, if you see it on your program, you're just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Why is this in my workout?
I'm not a big runner, so kind of when we had our group things, and you were always very gentle and offered it in a very nice way. You would offer us ladders, you would offer other variations, so I didn't have to kind of run laps around a gym and feel that I was not doing well. So yeah, I wouldn't sign up to be a lot of running.
Okay, marathon training, not in your future, and that's fine. Lots of different options for cardio. Doesn't have to be running. I was not my favorite for the longest time either. So that's how I know all those tricks and extra exercises to get around it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jackie. It was great to have you on the show, and enjoy your 70s, 80s, and 90s, whatever that may bring.
That's great. Well, thank you for all that you've done and are doing to maintain my health and support our cystic fibrosis initiative. So you're wonderful. Thanks a lot, Kate.
Well, thank you. You're the one doing all the hard work.
Thanks, Sam. Bye-bye.